coach here. O'Keefe Gymnasium is special.
The noise, the energy, you just feed off of it on every play.
Alicia Suarez starts off the serve, but it's Notre Dame picking up the first point to get it started. Notre Dame picked up a win against Clemson on Friday. Georgia Tech dropped a match against Louisville, 1-3. As that is Bork back to serve, and a crushing shot by the Jackets.
The game is going to be won in the middle of the net. We talk about serve and pass game. Who's going to win the serve pass game to get production out of the middle of the court? We know that both Notre Dame and Georgia Tech have strong pin players. The key is going to be able to feed the middles.
Annika Groom with a big shot there, the freshman stepping up. Back set, and a shot is wide for the Jackets.
Mamu trying to hit those high hands on that hard cross angle. She's going to have to use that block. Notre Dame is known for their blocks and their aces. And so Georgia Tech is going to have to find some kills in their toolbox.
Maya Baker serves for Notre Dame. Yeah. Again in the middle.
Gia Barty. She is going to, you're going to see her. Freshman of the week in the ACC.
Yes, absolutely.
And, feeding the middle of the court. We talked about that at the very beginning. You're going to see a lot of production from these middles.
Transfer from Pitt is Garibaldi. That one spins off the jacket. So 3-2 Notre Dame.
Gardy is one of those players. She's definitely going to be the top attacker on the scout for Georgia Tech. And so you'll see commit blocks, release blocks to her. She just finds a way off that block to find the kill.
That one touches tape and going to get down and ace. You mentioned second the ACC and aces is this Notre Dame squad.
You're going to see multiple players attack different angles on the court. The speed of the ball on the top spin. There's a little bit of a tail on it. Challenging to pass.
Guardian all ACC preseason selection. She's lived up to it, but how about that back corner shot? Mini Mambo gets the kill.
That deep corner is where people are going to attack. That's an exposed area, and then they'll move the ball around from there once Notre Dame makes adjustments.
All right, for the Jackets, Abby Lee really stepped up out of Alpharetta, Georgia, as a service specialist. That one's in the net there. Won't be happy about it.
You really work on the serve and pass game. You need to stay aggressive. So there's a fine balance there where you're okay with a miss or two because you're staying aggressive and keeping the other team out of system.
Here's a libero for Notre Dame serving. It's Kaylee Dockery. Back set, and Pierce is going to get the tool.
That slide is so fast and so high. She does such a nice job seeing the court and tooling that high hands off the block out of bounds.
All right, back to Georgia Tech. Laura Bileski on the serve for the Jackets. Saving it, nope. Good, and points Jackets. 6-5. Correction, 5-5 now. As Bileski out of Brazil. Cross, and the blockers are there for the Jackets. Suarez.
Such a great move, an eye sequence by Pierce. She releases to that outside and gets a nice solid setup and block. Suarez, really nice hand turn in to bring that ball back into the court.
Bileski serves, and that's going to be an ace. 17 aces on the season for Bileski.
Garrity is very much going to be a serving target, and a lot is asked of her right now with Helms not here. Helmer's not here this weekend, and so she's adding to her list of what she has to produce for the team. That's a great swing there.
Yeah, Lucy Trump with the kill. Now 75 kills on the season for Trump. She had 12 kills versus Villanova.
Trump does a nice job of hitting from pin to pin, hard cross. She finds the open court inside the block.
Service ace leader for Notre Dame with 31. Free ball to the Jackets, saved. Hard attack. That's gonna be point to the Jackets.
Court is really trying to find those hands on that block. Very smart when she's out of system, trying to find a way to get around that big block of Suarez.
All right, honored pre-match as Sophie Velez will serve for the Jackets. And a crushing shot by Notre Dame. Anna Bork.
Bjork, that middle attack, even though Georgia Tech stepped in with their right side block to help with that that gap set, such a hard ball to stop. And the middles on both sides are such terminal middles.
And an ace once again for Notre Dame. Cordes drops it in.
That deep corner float right to the sideline, such a hard ball to pass.
Middle, attack, yeah. Garibaldi stepping up there in the middle for the Jackets.
Yes, and you're going to see Naji stepped out to the outside there and left that lane open. And, just a great swing.
Suarez, and that's an ace for the Jackets.
We're seeing some serves with a lot of movement on them early on in this match. That means the confidence is high. You could tell from the scouting report both teams are attacking that serve.
17th ace of the season for Eloise Suarez. Missed a lot of last year with an injury, and there's another attack on the Jackets. Start feeling like Georgia Tech's taking control of this first set.
Yes, with focusing on Gardy and knowing that you can see they're pinched slightly on Gardy for the serve receive. They're running at her. Being able to move that ball, reverse it is what Notre Dame needs to do.
How about the blocking hands of the Jackets? They saw a lot of blocks from Louisville on Friday night. They're getting in their mix themselves today.
Yes, against Louisville, they had 25 coverage balls. And so that's pretty impressive to have an offensive swing off of 25 blocked coverage balls.
3 blocks already for the Jackets as Suarez serves 12-8. Pushed over. Suarez to Spagna. Now Gardy's gonna be touched by the Jackets.
Yep, so you're going to see her hit middle of the court, middle deep, and then deep corner. And she has that kind of a cross-body swing there that's going to really hard ball to dig. It's hard, flat ball coming at you.
York on the serve for Notre Dame. And a crushing kill once again by Garibaldi in the middle.
Garibaldi does such a great job seeing the block being up early and such a fast arm. So when that block gets set, she can see it and really hit around it.
Jackets serve. Fjodorovic. Mambu, soft touch. Gardy. Mambu. Gardy once again, hands are there, but goes out of bounds. Point to Notre Dame.
So the transition game is going to be a big key for both teams also. It's the dig to attack offense, and so the transition offense. And we saw Mambu put 2 balls over, trying to take the setter out of the offense, get the Notre Dame into out of system. So you're going to start to see a lot of toolbox shots come out.
Yeah, how about that? To Spagna.
What a great line shot here, one-on-one block. She finds the line. She's normally a cross-court attacker. That's such a great swing for her.
Here's Garibaldi. 14-10 here in set number 1. A little laser beam serve. Pushed over, saved by the Jackets. but blockers are there for Notre Dame on the attack by Mambu. He just pushes it back over. And Despagna.
These upperclassmen help build the culture, maintain the culture through a long season.
And Mobridge was a big part of that, as well as DeAndrea Pierce, as that was going to get down just in front of Pierce. Notre Dame hanging around, and if you're Georgia Tech, you felt like you were grasping control, but you let a team like Notre Dame hang around, that becomes problematic.
It does. This is a team that can score points from the service line quickly, and so no lead is protected.
Guarding with that big serve, Despagna into the hands of the blockers, Langer.
And as you can see, top five in both of these categories, service aces and blocks for Notre Dame. And there's a reason that getting people out of system from that serve ball and then closing that block and finishing.
Wow, what a cannon shot. A bruising serve by Gardy.
Yeah, guys, I was able to listen in on that Notre Dame timeout, and Coach Rockwell said, guys, number one, we got to attack more. We need to come together. Number two, we need to work on that serve-receive defense. So you'll see they're getting a little bit momentum now headed into Georgia Tech timeout.
Yeah, great stuff. Timeout on the floor after back-to-back aces by Gardy. It's a 1-point set here. Timeout by Coach Collier. Do you like the timing of this?
Definitely. You just need to interrupt that pattern, especially with a jump topspin serve. Just add a little bit more variance, another layer in there. Maybe change up your serve-receive pattern, shift slightly. She's more in that 5-6 seam is where she's attacking that serve, and so really figuring out who has which angle, just tightening up the serve receive, and then also talking about from an offensive side, hey, if we get this ball up, it's a medium pass behind the 10-foot line. What does our offense look like?
Take a look at the season resume for Notre Dame. You see the 10-15 record. They were 7-10 in the ACC. That's 2 more wins already in the ACC for Notre Dame, so that trajectory is high. RPI at 114. They need to a strength of schedule type scenario where they pick up some wins to increase that. But you gotta love the pieces that Notre Dame and Coach Rockwell are putting together.
Yes, and we're looking at Gardy just being that the go-to player, but then you have Cordes, you have the middles really emerging, you have the ball control coming in, you have a lot of pieces. The depth of Notre Dame is really their superpower right now, and you see it coming out at Clemson. They had all 3 setters playing, right. So it's a team that the culture is great. Everyone's ready to go into the game and be a go-to player for them.
And Gardy, just a sophomore, she's the cornerstone. She got 4 kills, 2 aces. She knocks down Belez, but a DeAndrea Pierce attack.
Pierce with the gap set swing here. Really nice. We talked about that the middle of the court is where the match is going to be won, and both teams are finding it when they can get that first good pass and really forcing it to the middle.
What an attack by Pierce. Really going in the middle. It's been a great, let's see, it looks like they're going to do a challenge here. No, it looks like they're going to just down an official having a conversation with Georgia Tech's coaching staff. Here's Abby Lee, but that middle has been there for Georgia Tech attackers. Notre Dame working the middle. Suarez, now Mambu. Back-to-back points for the Jackets.
Yes, look at that nice cross-court shot. Finding that inside hand of the middle blocker. Finding that spot on the court where the off blocker, that's a tough ball to come off the net from the block.
And it's an ace for Lee. It's her 10th ace of the season. Timeout, Notre Dame. It was a 4-0 run coming out of the last timeout. What a job Georgia Tech did, mitigating that and now picking up some points of their own.
Yes, the streaks. We're all talking about stopping streaks or earning your streaks. And so looking at ace 4 and 3 service aces. That's pretty incredible right there. I mean, those are quick points that can get you right back into the match, put pressure on passing in the offense.
And Georgia Tech hitting 421 to Notre Dame 157, 167 rather. That's a high number. That's where you want to be. You like that?
Yes, yes. And looking at, the digs, the transition game of that, so they're finding ways to score only 2 attacking errors. And, that comes from really being smart in that out of system. They're digging the ball when the swing isn't there. They're being smart and putting the ball someplace to challenge Notre Dame.
Middle blockers for Georgia Tech have been fantastic. DeAndre Pierce and Garibaldi, really, the players have stepped up with 4 kills for Garibaldi, 2 for Pierce. Suarez getting in the mix as well. And then Despagna on the outside and Mambu. Lee continues to serve 18-14. And looks like the starter whistle didn't go off, so we'll have to reset here.
This band can cause wreak havoc because it's so loud and so great.
Lee locks in one more time. Cross court. And attack by Cordes. Blocked by the Jackets. Over the hands. Suarez, Mambu, and there it is. Back corner. Oh, they're going to say out. And Georgia Tech looking for a touch. Coach Collier.
Definitely going to talk at least about a challenge. And yes, challenge.
The challenge is being made by Georgia Tech on the touch. On this near side attack. Back row.
Georgia Tech is challenging. There was a block touch on the play.
I tell you what, Coach Collier has been very successful using the replay challenge, but on Friday night, there were some tough calls against Georgia Tech. Tough to see. Here's the replay.
So
and you do see a finger flip. Let's see if this is enough.
We're looking for that right side blocker, Trump's right hand. What do you see?
That's close. At first, I thought saw her finger flick back, but you know what? Second look.
This is always a tough job for these replay officials.
Yeah.
We're seeing another angle here. You're looking for a change in trajectory of the ball or a finger movement. It's challenging to see that. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, right now from this angle, it would be tough to overturn. I don't see. Yeah, I don't know if it's enough to overturn because you're just looking for that conclusiveness.
Yes, there has to be conclusive from the video to change the call. And a lot of times the ref will say inconclusive, the call stands if there's not enough evidence to change the call.
Yeah, that's a toughie. It does appear to be some kind of hand movement on some of the replays we're seeing. But we're just not certain. It's tough.
What a great idea for Mambu to swing line here.
Yeah.
And so you can see Notre Dame's defense is about 17 feet, just.
After review, the call is confirmed. Georgia Tech loses their challenge.
Okay, so not enough to overturn if there was anything there, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sally. But yeah, Mambu went down the line. It was a courageous effort.
Yes, smart swing.
All right, so Notre Dame within 3, and into the net. With high service aces, sometimes you'll get those service errors, and you'll live with it as long as you're getting some of those aces to fall, as these teams have so far, as Bialeski will serve for the Jackets. back, and the attack by Trump is going to be down and in.
That deep corner is so hard to defend, and she does a nice job hitting that real estate, that deep corner shot over that block, and really finding the court.
16 serving 19. Pushed over by the Jackets. That's just a misplay by Georgia Tech. Point, Notre Dame, 17-19.
Court is really using her shots there, really not in rhythm with that approach to attack. Does a nice job of tipping that ball into the donut, that zone 3 area.
Trump serves, leads the team in aces. Big blockers there for Notre Dame.
Serving and blocking, Notre Dame's really relied on those two aspects of the game. Georgia Tech did a nice job covering against Louisville. They need to get in there and make sure they're protecting their hitters.
Najee and Bjork on the block, and that's going to be long. Crucial point, 20th point there on the service error for the Jackets. 20 serving 18. Stops the Notre Dame run. Self-inflicted. Here's Velez. Just over. Bjork pushing it for Notre Dame. Attack, Fiedorovic. And Najee looking for a touch. They're not going to get the call. And looks like we'll have a challenge here coming from Notre Dame's head coach, Salima Rockwell.
So Najee, who's a right side, but in rotation 1, she'll be on the left side hitting on the outside of the court. This is new with being out of system as a right side, seeing the ball come across your
Notre
body
Dame is challenging. It was a block touch on the play.
She's done a really nice job of growing her game as the season has progressed, becoming confident in those out-of-system swings on the outside. You can see she goes for high hands here and, cross-court again, and she does it with power. She's not afraid.
Yeah.
She goes with confidence with these swings.
This is the replay, looking for a touch off the Najee strike. That seems a little bit of an easier call. I don't see anything there.
Garibaldi's hand presses over. I don't really see too much. It was interesting. Notre Dame was pretty confident. Yeah. All players really called touch right away.
Out the attack. Garibaldi and Slaughter is there for Georgia Tech. As the replay challenge doesn't get very easy.
It's not an easy job for those officials. And, as an official, you want to be 100% confident when you're calling the ball. And these touches are so minuscule for the sideline refs that, good thing replay is there. We've seen it make a major impact in the collegiate game and changing.
Looks like they're going to make the official word here.
After review, the call is confirmed. Notre Dame loses their challenge.
All right, so both coaches have challenged and not gotten the call to be overturned.
So this does change the dynamics of when to use your challenges from here on out, because Notre Dame has lost one.
Jacket serve 21-18. Oh boy, Najee has it blocked right back at her.
She went big for that swing, and the block just really got the center of that block, and Garibaldi and Suarez, that's a solid block they're putting up. Good penetration.
Now low attack into the arms, 22-18. Pushed over, then slapped back by Garibaldi, and she's going to get the kill. Great heads-up athletic move by Garibaldi.
Yes, she sees the game well. She's able to move her feet to that ball and make a solid block.
Timeout on the floor by Notre Dame. They trail the Jackets 23-18 here in set number 1.
Garibaldi is one of those players that she works so hard in transition. And she never takes a play off.
Yeah, no doubt about it. She's got 4 kills for the Jackets. Leads the team where it's Gardy with Notre Dame with 4 kills. No surprise there. Take a look at the middle blockers there for Georgia Tech. That hit percentage we mentioned earlier, 413 and 401. That is unbelievable for these middle blockers for the Jackets.
Yes, and Suarez has done a nice job finding them, even when the pass is pushed back to the sideline or the 10-foot line. The window that these middles are getting up for is so fun to watch.
Jacket huddle there. They've got this lead 23-18. How important is it for a team to pick up a first set at home?
So, one, it's a confidence booster. They're using, we talked about production from a lot of their players. We've seen over the last couple of matches for Georgia Tech that we've had 1 or 2 players step up. To see them controlling the pass and being able to get everyone involved in their offense. You know, if you look at the attacks along the net, they've used the right side on the slide and the right side attack, really finding the middles in first ball and in transition. And then Mambu really finding, you know, just the line or creating. Now for Notre Dame here, we see a little bit of shift in their serve receive, shadowing a little bit more. They need to find a side out swing here with a first good contact.
There is Belez. Back. And Bjork is going to get it down for Notre Dame. 23-19 out of the timeout, getting a point. That's exactly what Rockwell needed.
And execution right there. Really nice pass. Allows them to run the slide and really get out of the quad of the outside attack. Use the full net.
Freshman Sophia Thornburg out of Dallas, Texas, serves for the Fighting Irish. Looking for a touch, and they will get it. The Jackets.
So this,
you see Coach Rockwell said, I think I'm going to challenge it. And then she said, never mind.
And then she's going for it.
Okay, she's now going to go for the challenge.
There's so much that goes into these decisions to challenge.
Notre Dame is challenging. There was not a block touch on the play.
Of course, you have a limited amount of challenges. She's already lost 1.
Yes. And in the 5th set, you do receive another challenge opportunity. But when the players feel so strongly about it, and especially in the right side comes off, and Naji saying no touch.
Yeah. They're going to look at it here, and the hands are there. Now, does the touch occur? Hard to think it did, but we shall see.
So you look for spin on the ball also. I really don't see much change on the spin of the ball. It's hard for our angle to see if a finger moved. Boy, this down official is getting tested today.
Yeah, the official this afternoon. Susie Dodd, Scott Lowry, Brian Terry, and Brian Solito. Your officials here. 3 challenges in the first set. 24-19 as it stands. With the point going to Georgia Tech, they'll have set point if it stands.
And even as this set has continued, you're noticing that Georgia Tech's hitting percentage is going down slightly. Notre Dame is still trying to find consistency in that first ball to get their offense going. They have lots of key hitters. We just need to get them the ball.
And we kind of talked about it coming into this. Gardy, all-star. The players around her, she makes them better. But someone's got to step up. She needs a crew around her to help her be better, which is hard to believe. She's a fantastic player. And that's where I think Notre Dame's looking for that recipe right now.
Yes, and with Trump being on the outside playing, so with running the 6-2, you have people playing both the outside and the right side in different rotations 1 and 4. And then you have the ability for the middle to run some slides, and the 6-2 just creates different options. With Gardy playing in the back row, when they can leave her in the back row, her back row attack is huge. That changes the offense there too when you can have a back row attack. And that's something that Helmer's brought very consistently. She's the 6th row player.
After review, the call is reversed. Points awarded to Notre Dame. They retain their challenge.
Okay, that's a big point. Goes back to 23, now 20.
Great challenge by Coach Rockwell and trusting her players. And that is, that's a lot on the line right there.
Absolutely. Portis serves for Notre Dame. Hard attack by Georgia Tech. And it's going to get past everybody. Jackets with the point, and it's a set point here at O'Keefe Gymnasium. It's going to get loud.
Yes, we haven't seen much of Fyodorovic, and this is great to see her get more active in the offense right here.
Eloise Suarez will serve for the Jackets. Set point. Back. Najee. And it's going to be point Jackets. They take set number 1, 25-20.
I
thought they saw that as an opportunity to quiet the naysayers. Well, they didn't get the win, so now it's just full steam ahead for the Jackets in their schedule. And it's a tough one, as the first point will go to Notre Dame, because Georgia Tech has to travel, as you mentioned, coast to coast, out to Stanford, and then come back home for a game against Pitt. Very, very tough remainder of the season.
And this is where champions are made, though. They've got to create opportunities, and you've seen them every match. They make adjustments. They against Louisville, after having two tough sets, 2 tight sets, coming back and winning that 3rd set.
Yeah.
They're finding ways. They're a team you can never count out. They're a perennial powerhouse.
Down 2 points here in set number 2, and Notre Dame has come out firing on all cylinders, up 3-0.
So we see some adjustments right away from Notre Dame. Bjork committed on Garibaldi, and so we knew good pass going to the middle. They found that. They're really closing that block on the pins now.
Espana off hands. Middle attack is going to be there. How about that? Fyodorovic just dumping it over.
Those balls tight to the net, it's so good to redirect them, and so the defense has to adjust. It's such a fast ball.
Mambu checks back in for the Jackets as Fyodorovic will go back to serve. 18 service aces on the season for the freshman out of Poland. Saved by Belez. And can't save it by the libero Notre Dame. Point to the Jackets.
Mambu with a nice strike down the line again, and you can see Notre Dame's defense making an adjustment, more rotating towards that line to cover Mambu's swings there.
Fyodorovic goes at Dockery. Pushed in the middle. Mambu high over hands. Suarez. Mimi Mambu can't get it through the blockers. And that's going to get down for the Jackets. Nice rally.
We talk about Garibaldi from a blocker and offensive standpoint, but how about that coverage? That's what being a great teammate is covering your hitter and making sure that you have an opportunity for another swing.
They go at Dockery once again on the serve. Gardy going to get it through off the Jackets. Notre Dame retakes the lead.
Gardy with that shot cone, we see her going cross court so often. Such a good swing, high off the hands line.
Suarez, Mambu. Nice dig. That's going to be too close to the pin. And point for the Jackets.
Hey guys, well, I listened into the Georgia Tech huddle between set 1 and set 2, and Coach Collier was just saying, guys, we got to stay firm up front like we've been doing. But this set, she wants them to celebrate more. She wants them to stand tall and celebrate, and you've been seeing that here in set 2.
Very good. Strong middle and celebrate more. I like it. Bring a good energy to the floor. I mean, they're down 3-0 and rallied, tied 3-3, now 5-4.
Gardy being that go-to
Yeah.
player that we know she is, she's just using that block in all different ways.
Mambu for the Jackets. But if your team brings that extra energy as Gardy gets another back corner shot, it can make all the difference in the world, your attitude and character on the floor.
It shows in your transition game. It shows in your coverage. In basketball, we talk about taking the charge, or those are all things that have big implications on your team.
Whoa, what a hit by Mambu. First the save by Velez, and then Mambu.
Just the tempo of that set, Suarez just gets a low pass and just pumps it out there, and wow, Mambu is up. The fast arm.
Yeah, she went nuclear as Abby Lee serves. Back set, Trump. Velez, pass, Mambu. Gardy, she spins it off of Suarez.
And that set is a little bit inside, and that even opens up more for the block. So she takes a angle approach and brings it back to the line. That's such a high-level swing.
All right, Gardy back to serve. ACC Player of the Week back in September. But she's been phenomenal all year long for Notre Dame. Hard attack. Going to go in the net. We talk about Gardy had 70 swings against Clemson. And here she is. This team is just on her shoulders, and she doesn't seem to be fazed by that.
She is ready for it. She continues to go back to her toolbox. She sees the block so well and creates, and she's ready to carry the team. I love that last pass. Look at her just being aggressive in that serve receive. You know that she's a target for Georgia Tech.
Suarez goes to the freshman, Fiedorovic. Got it at 7 apiece here in set number 2. Jackets took set 1, 25-20.
It's great to see Fiedorovic come out and find her swings. She's definitely on the top part of a scouting report for every team they play against.
And that just touches back line. Yeah, didn't have a great first set. Freshman, not being fazed by it, comes out, has some good swings, but Notre Dame has retaken the lead 8-7.
And this is part of adjusting to scouting reports, what a team will focus on starting on a match. Fiedorovic has had a great week leading up to this weekend. She would absolutely be atop of the scouting report. Espana against Louisville really stepped up.
Yeah. Bad serve there by Langer. It's 8-8 as Velez back to serve. At the net. And then pushed. No one home for Georgia Tech in that back corner.
Lucy Trump is such a smart player, really seeing the court, the deep throw to the corner. I mean, that's great. She handles the pass, they save that ball, and she finds the open court.
Now 9 serving 8. Lucy Trump out of Florence, Kentucky. At 11 kills versus Florida State. Again, leads the team in service aces. Fiedorovic is blocked up. And then big hands once again by Notre Dame. Najee and Bjork. That's a team right there that sets up a wall. Very difficult to get through.
And to have back-to-back swings there with that coverage, we talked about it with Louisville, that they did a nice job. This is where you've got to find what to do with that ball. Recycle it. Throw it high off that block.
Trump continues to serve. Suarez, Fiedorovic. Velez, pass, Fiedorovic. Do it once more. Fiedorivic's finally going to get it to go.
That's the way to challenge. Notre Dame's done such a nice job really shrinking the net right now against Georgia Tech with not a back row attack in, so they can really bring their blockers all the way in, shrink that net, so it makes it challenging, but smart shot by Fiedorovic.
Suarez will serve for the Jackets. 9 serving 10. Suarez. D'Espagne. Nice defense by Notre Dame, but not enough as D'Espagne goes right back with the kill.
We saw this against Louisville that she hit over 400 in transition. Everyone knew she was going to get that ball again, and she still found a seam in that block. That fast swing right in the seam.
10-10. Suarez. Garibaldi there in the middle. That was pushed over. Heads up play by Velez. Feodorovic, but hands are there by Bjort. As it's deflected out of bounds. Off the Jackets.
That block for Notre Dame is just relentless.
Great play by Velez, but the block is there. They saw enough of the blocks by Louisville. They don't need to see any more by Notre Dame, I'm sure. Nice job by the Fighting Irish. Oh, but D'Espagne will not be denied.
Okay, we have to highlight Suarez here. Wow, what a set. Moving backwards on a flat pass behind, a tempo ball to the outside. Wow, that was just a great execution up by D'Espagne.
11 all, set 2. Gardy, off hands of the Jackets. Garibaldi and D'Espagne were there.
And you can see the frustration coming off the Georgia Tech block. They're so close. They want it so bad. And just making those small adjustments, they have to continue to be strong at the net.
12 serving 8. Oh, boy. Good save by Velez. An overpass was there for the taking by Notre Dame, but Velez saves it for the Jackets. See if they can capitalize. Suarez back. D'Espagne. Point to the Fighting Irish.
These rallies, this transition of creating a swing, at the end after a long rally, coming off the net, approaching, that is where those are the key little small points that can earn you the win.
York drops it in. Great serve. Mambu. Now Garibaldi. Suarez, Garibaldi. Again, Suarez with a beautiful set.
She puts it up there. Garibaldi goes up, shows that she's going to go to zone 1, and then turns it back. Just really makes that block come and take zone 1 away from her, and then she finds that opening.
Out of Argentina, transferred from Pitt. Garibaldi back to serve. Gardy. Wow. What a powerful shot.
Yes, you're talking about power on both sides of the net. I mean, just these outsides are elite.
It'll be Maya Baker back to serve. Didn't play in 2024 after starting all 26 matches in 23. She's going to get it down. Point Notre Dame, and a timeout coming. All right, service rolls over the net. Back to Sophie.
I was able to listen into Georgia Tech's sideline huddle during that timeout, and Coach Collier was just saying, we need to take advantage of those high balls that they're passing to us. We need to take their momentum away and get back into it here in set 2.
Yeah, they sure do. With Abby Lee, a service specialist, trying to take that momentum. Big swing. Nice dig by the Jackets. Mambu on the free ball. Back set. Trump. Saved by Velez. Mambu. Wow, saved by Dockery. Here's Gardy.
It is so fun just to watch her ability to attack all parts of the court. And let's talk about defense here on both. I mean, we're saying both sides taking huge rips and defense running down, balls off the block, just really playing all out.
Here's Gardy to serve, 16-13. And that's a little long. Service errors right now. That's the 4th for Notre Dame. It's going to be Valesky back to serve for the Jackets. See if she can steal the momentum. Off the service error at Dockery. And Trump is going to be long.
We'll see if this is challenged here.
That was pretty close.
That was very close, very close.
Just one challenge left for Coach Rockwell. She's going to keep it in her pocket. Valesky. Gardy. No, I'm sorry. That is Thornburg. No, Cordes.
Yes, falling away a little bit on that shot brings it closer to the net tape, and the block by Pierce is just, they seal the net. Suarez and Pierce does such a nice job sealing that net.
Valesky, 16 all. Cordes once again. That's going to be a out of bounds shot by Fyodorovich.
Fyodorovich going after this big block. She's trying all shots. I like it. I like seeing that from an outside.
Langer will serve. Suarez back. Pierce. Suarez once again, this time to Fyodorovich. They try and go over Trump and Bjork. Can't be saved. Point Notre Dame. Timeout, Georgia Tech.
We really have to talk about the defense on both sides. The range at which these defenders are playing is very impressive. Not only is the ball being hit at such a high level speed, but angles. They're really using thumb down, hitting from their body line. And the range that these defensive specialists in backcourt are playing at is very elite.
And I thought it was a favorable matchup with Fyodorovich on the far side and Trump. But, Bjork does a great job closing in and setting up that block, and she just couldn't find the shot, had to cut it, it went wide. But Georgia Tech is trying a lot of different things.
Yes, and the adjustments that both coaches are making. I mean, you can see both of these coaches are strategic coaches. They make blocking adjustments, and you can see different shots for players open up because of blocking adjustments.
And here's the defensive improvements for non-ACC play versus ACC play. Talk about a conference that is considered one of the tops in women's volleyball in the country. Georgia Tech, didn't have a whole lot of follow-up. I mean, this just shows you how good this team is.
Yes, and the thing is that Georgia Tech, we find when they win, they minimize their opponent's hitting percentage. And that's what they need to keep doing like they did in set one.
Yeah.
And really Notre Dame is back up to 240, and Georgia Tech is now 118. And so, but the score is only 2 points apart.
Right. And you see Georgia Tech inching in, tying the game, and then Notre Dame coming back. We'll see if someone can kind of grab hold of this set. 18-16, Notre Dame, that was going to hit the floor. Point for the Jackets. 1 point set. Fyodorovich with the kill. She now has 5 on the night as Belez will serve for the Jackets. Back, Trump tries a soft touch. Can it be saved? Yeah, it will be, but it's slammed down by Fyodorovich. How someone wasn't in the net right there, I have no idea, but but the point goes to the Jackets. Tie game.
Being dominant in those 50-50 balls is aggressiveness, getting your feet there.
Belez serves once again. Overpass is going to be crushed by Garibaldi.
Garibaldi puts that down with authority from the service line. Velez really putting pressure on this Notre Dame serve-receive pattern. We can see them shifting.
Jackets lead for the first time, I believe, in this set, 19-18, but it goes right back to a tie set at 19 apiece.
Court is doing a really nice job of mixing up her shots also. That tip to zone 3. We see Notre Dame making some serve-receive adjustments to their patterns.
And Trump's dangerous from the service line. A little too much on it there. Service errors coming back to haunt Notre Dame right now.
And this is where you have that balance, but when it gets to key points and you have to keep that ball in, she's an aggressive server. She's going to be top 10 in Notre Dame history and aces. And so they're going to let her go for it.
Bjork, nobody there. Miscommunication by the Jackets defense, and it's 20-20.
Now we've seen 2 tips drop. They're going to make an adjustment to their defense of attention to that dropped zone 3 here.
Cordes will serve for the Fighting Irish. Despagna, but the block is huge. Najee and Bjork once again for Notre Dame.
On an inside set, they do a nice job of adjusting in there, diving back into the court. I mean, look at that penetration on that block. So good.
Velez. Now punch back. Suarez. Fyodorovich, but the attack, the block was out of bounds, pulled out of bounds, point to the Jackets.
Fyodorovich, really nice. That was a low swing, and she took advantage of that and got it right on that forearm out of bounds.
Fyodorovich will go back to serve. See your numbers there, 7 kills, 6 digs. After a tough first set, Najee with the big swing. Pass to Suarez. Can it be saved? It cannot. Point Jackets.
They're really doing a nice job of using all areas of the net. Right side attack, just that dig up. Great high set, out of system set. Oh, good corner swing. Despagna getting her feet to that ball on the inside set.
Georgia Tech started this set down 0-3, right? Down 3 points. They rallied back and tied it. It has been back and forth since then, and what a job they've done. Let's go down to Sophie Davis.
Hey guys, I'm listening in to the Notre Dame huddle right now, and Coach Rockwell is just trying to rally her troops. He's saying, we're in this. We got to go. We got to play hard. He's reminding her team who they are and who they're playing for. Said fight for the Irish.
I'll tell you what, as the blockers have been a disrupting force, this Georgia Tech band is a disrupting force. When you're trying to hear people from across the O'Keefe Gymnasium, it is so loud in here. This is the +1 you get when you come to O'Keefe, because Georgia Tech is such a tough place to play. It's because of this atmosphere.
100%. When you're a coach trying to give offensive or defensive feedback to the team, you have to do diagrams because no one can hear you.
Yeah.
And so it is very disruptive. It's disruptive in transition. It's such a great home court advantage. This historic facility is one of a kind.
Yep, old O'Keefe High School. All right, so Fyodorovich will serve 22-21. Huge points. And it's going to be point Notre Dame. They needed that. That was a huge point out of the timeout.
Great point. You could see Mambu came off the net nicely for that cross-court attack, but she just was inside the court. Wow. Gardy just chiseled that right inside.
York serves. Out at 22, Mambu. Here's Gardy. And you're going to go in the net. All right, so Georgia Tech was in the net. They gave the point to Notre Dame. And a timeout by Coach Collier. So 23-22. It's been a resilient effort for Georgia Tech. They have a one-set lead. What does Notre Dame need to do to close out?
Continuing to serve aggressive and get Georgia Tech out of system, then their block is going to come in. You'll see that last ball, Mambu just slightly overran, and so she had a roll shot it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Notre Dame's trying to do, just disrupt their system. So from the service line, trying to get them a medium pass, and then really getting a good solid setup. We've seen Georgia Tech tip a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's not normally what they usually swing for the fences.
Yeah.
And so Notre Dame needs to be ready for the shots coming at them and transitioning out of that.
And all of a sudden, Fiodorovic is at the top of the stat sheet for Georgia Tech. She's got 7 kills. You think you go back to a Garibaldi in the middle, maybe a DeAndre Pierce in the middle for some of these points?
Yes, and it's really been Notre Dame serving has gotten Georgia Tech out of system where they haven't been able to utilize their middles enough. We talked about attacking that middle of the net, so let's look for a good pass and moving that ball around a little bit more.
All right, teams are back on the floor, 23-22, set number 2. Must win for Georgia Tech as they are on the bubble for this NCAA tournament. Here's the serve by Bjork. Suarez and Garibaldi goes back corner and does not miss.
The pass dictates so much, but even though Suarez was pushed back, she still finds that middle. That's such a great set. And Garibaldi just gets up and finds the way.
She's all business, a sophomore out of Argentina. Back. Najee is going to get it through. That was all power.
Really love the reverse choice right here, running along the net. The easy set would be to set the outside into a double block. The reverse creates a little seam in the block. Najee with a great swing.
Set point for Notre Dame. At the net. Free ball. Oh boy, the Jackets Mambu. They finally get a block off Gardy, and it's a huge one. 24 all.
That was a tough ball. It was a flat, fast set to Gardy. She tried to get it, sneak it through, but Georgia Tech did a nice job of sealing that net right there.
Abby Lee. Out of Alpharetta, Georgia. And misplayed, it's an ace.
So we know they're going to really attack zone 5 here. We know where their service calls are going to go. And so now it's just getting a good platform out there to Notre Dame and getting that ball in a 10-foot line to the net area.
4th ace for Georgia Tech this afternoon. Just 1 service error. That's the kind of ratio you'll take. 6 aces for Notre Dame, 5 service errors, and sometimes those have come at critical times.
And that's the key, is knowing when, out of a timeout or match point or set point, wherever we're at, it's knowing the type of serve. So you have levels in serves, level
right.
1, 2, are you going all out? Is your best serve just to go for it? Green light, go. And so in this situation, we see that Notre Dame has some weakness in passing or some areas that they want to attack. And so they're going to go after it. So we'll see if they do a deep serve to the end line or drop a short serve into the toes area. Let's see how they move around these passers and see if Notre Dame does anything with their serve-receive pattern.
A lot for the young freshman out of Alpharetta, Georgia. As Notre Dame breaks the huddle, comes back on the floor. It is Abby Lee will serve for the Jackets. Set point. As the Jackets taking all the time they can here in this huddle.
Well, and with Notre Dame running a 6-2, you have limited subs. And so you can't sub out your outsides consistently. You don't have enough subs.
Great point. All right, get loud. Set point to the Jackets. Abby Lee serves. She's got 2 aces on the afternoon. Does Lee. Here we go. That's a good serve. Tough. Dockery sends it over. In the middle, DeAndrea Pierce, but the blocker by Gardy.
You can see Gardy come all the way into the middle of the court there to stop that middle attack. And we saw it from the serve. The serve was a short toe serve, kind of got him out of system, and then they found and knew the ball was going to that middle.
And Bjork again does a great job of closing those blockers in. She may have got a hand on it as well, as Gardy will be back to serve 25-25. At Velez, Mambu.
Big swing from Mambu and a two-hitter rotation. They're in rotation 4, setters in the left front. You know Pierce was running a slide, Mambu on the go. Good choice by Suarez. Great swing by Mambu.
What an attack there by Mambu. Laura Bileski serves for Georgia Tech. Set point, into the net. We talked about it. Yep.
It's that pressure and putting that ball in the net, in play. And so this is where you want to keep them not running their best offense, but being able to score.
Langer serves. Viadorovic. And that's going to be out of play. Oh, did it touch the pin? Yes, it did. Third set point coming for Georgia Tech.
All right, we're still in a two-hitter rotation here for Georgia Tech, and for Notre Dame, we have 3 options here. Gardy.
Overpass. That means trouble for Notre Dame as Garibaldi slams it home, and the Jackets take set 2. Georgia Tech can capitalize on that.
With 2 young teams, the adjustments that they're making, it's been fun to watch the strategy in both sides here, looking for set 3.
Aloisi Suarez serves for the Jackets. There's Gardy immediately with the cut shot and the point.
That is so hard to defend. How do you defend a 6-foot swing? I mean, that is just so good on that hard angle, thumb down. You can put an off blocker there, but it's hard.
And it will be Bjork back to serve. Jacket Suarez through the blockers. Yeah, she gets it down.
Despania, she got a little quiet last set. Tough to get her the ball in some of the out-of-system situations, and now we're going to see her start really coming alive. Just because she's seeing the block, we can get her the ball more.
Yeah, thank you, Despania, on that kill. Najee pushes it over. Mambu. Dockery got an arm on it. Now Gardy's going to have to play it. Does, and gets the tool.
That defense, seeing that high ball, taking a rip at it, that's a hard ball too, because coming over your shoulder. Gardy with a nice high swing. That was an easy one to try to bring down, and she kept it high against the block.
It's going to be Maya Baker to serve. 2 serving 1, and there's Despania once again. Huge.
Such a fast arm she has, and again that reverse. Suarez just pumping that ball back there with tempo and creating seams for her, and she's taking advantage of them.
Bianca Garibaldi will be back to serve for the Jackets. 2-2 here in set 3, and it's an ace for Garibaldi.
Once again, we see her making impact all over the game.
23rd ace of the season for Garibaldi. She had 3 aces against Purdue in that big road win for the Jackets. Baker cross to Gardy. Now slapped over, and looks like it's going to be a point to Notre Dame, and the Jackets players are contesting.
When that ball is in any plane of the net and it is touched by a back row setter, it is the Notre Dame's ball, the opponent's ball. And so those 50-50 balls, Notre Dame did a nice job going up and making a touch on it.
All right, Gardy will serve at Mambu. Mambu attacks, it goes off hands at the net. And stepped over the line. There's Notre Dame, point for the Jackets.
This is where Langer, it's a quick transition ball. The block needs to get off the net. There was a little bit of setter, middle transition congestion there. And so the fast-paced dig to set is always a challenge.
Abby Lee serves, and it's going to get down. It's another ace for Abby Lee.
That's one of the hardest balls to pass, a ball that is flying at you and then it drops to your toes or right in front of you. And so Georgia Tech, especially Lee, has done a nice job mixing up the depths of her serves.
She'll do it again. Baker back to Trump. Can't be saved by Georgia Tech's Belez.
Trump, we're going to probably see more targets to her and her swings. She's done a nice job using that block. She has such a full range of swings high, fast.
Here's Grace Langer. Back to serve. Out of Colorado, the sophomore. Bambu. Again, big blockers. Trump and Bjork. Can it be saved? It cannot. Point Jackets.
Such a smart play going to the middle, playing back row right there. That is just high-level volleyball, thinking about how to challenge your opponent, Notre Dame, and just making sure, Suarez, making sure that they're attacking that middle back there and maybe not as comfortable.
Served by the Jackets. There's Trump. Oh boy, huge hands by Fedorovich. And Suarez saved by the Fighting Irish. Almost went to the stands with it. Fedorovich. And again, attack, but blocked by the Jackets. And then Deandra Pierce, the senior, finishes it off.
Both sides, such great coverage to transition volleyball, big swings. A lot of times you see tips in that. If you had off of 1 foot, this quick slide behind with Pierce is so fast. She's working hard in off-ball movements.
Serve once again, Bialeski. And then Gardy. Bialeski attacks from the back row. Trump floats it over. Belez on the pass. Big hand Suarez, but it's tooled out of bounds for Notre Dame.
You see different players step up on defense. Espana having great dig right there, transition out of it. Fedorovich, it's when you have a two-hitter rotation like Georgia Tech is in, you have limited options. And so really a lot is on these shoulders of Fedorovich in the front row when it's an out-of-system ball.
Joust at the net. Point to the Jackets, and Notre Dame calling for a replay on the touch. Coach Rockwell is considering it, and they will not. Oh, they will change it to Notre Dame?
They did. Wow. The down ref called.
Okay, so the original call was to Georgia Tech, and without a replay, the call changed by the down official.
So that joust ball can be difficult to see who touches that last, and really tooling it off the block to go out of bounds is the right move.
Saves a challenge for Notre Dame. That's going to be pushed off of Cordes, out of bounds. Point to the Jackets.
Definitely. You're going to do it to me, I'll do it to you.
8 serving 6 is Belez.
Suarez, just a very smart play right there.
Rolls it over. Najee.
That's not something we've seen from Najee. At the beginning of the season, they were running some 2 balls. We haven't seen it lately, so to bring it back in their offense is great. And for it to hit tip right over that block, that's a hard place to defend on a 2 ball.
7 serving 8. Fedorovich. Najee. Mixing it up. Gardy's going to go long, looking for a touch, and they will get the call on the touch.
That ball hung up there. She hung. Wow, to be that tall with that kind of length and to be able to hang in the air for that swing is so impressive.
Cordes serves out of bounds. Jackets retake the lead. Here's Suarez to serve. 9 serving 8. Fenton with the pass for Notre Dame. Now Fyodorovic. Despagna, but wow. Gardy and York.
Fast set over to Despagna. She tried her best to get that ball over that net, but wow, Gardy is just so far pressed. Not a lot of daylight around that block.
And Bjork back to serve. Suarez, middle attack by Garibaldi. May have been going out of bounds, played by Bjork. Point goes to the Jackets.
Garibaldi, she's the one that you're going to go to in any type of tough situation. She's going to find that kill. As a setter, it's so nice to have players like that.
Yes.
That you know you can lean on them. They're going to get the kill for you. Just put that ball up and she'll see what the best option.
Fyodorovic. There's Gardy, going to go wide.
Georgia Tech's block did a nice job sealing the net. That was her only option on that set. And so way to get that block set up to cause an attacker to make that swing.
Overpass on the serve. Hands. Gardy. Just Langer over there. Yeah, sure was. So it'll be Notre Dame serving. 10 serving 11 as it's going to be Maya Baker back to serve. Freshman out of San Jose, California. And that one's going to be long. 7th service error for Notre Dame.
This is the type of match we knew we were going to have coming in. A battle, point for point. Didn't see a lot of point runs coming, maybe from a couple aces, but both teams are siding out at a pretty high percentage now, controlling the ball and serve receive.
Trump with a big attack right at the feet of Georgia Tech head coach Michelle Collier.
Trump has been hovering around that 455 to 500 mark. You know, just once again finds the kills in the deep corners. Really smart, high IQ player.
Gardy will serve. Big high spinning serve received by Despagna. Dockery. And now I think Langer didn't realize that was coming at her. She punches it over. Does a nice job keeping it alive. Now Mambu, but again, Notre Dame's block is stepping up.
And going back to what their solid fundamentals are, serving and blocking and doing those things. Transition balls, sealing the net right at the end there. Does a nice job penetrating by Lucy Trump.
12-12 here in set number 3. Georgia Tech showed that resilience in set 2 to come back and win. Now it's Notre Dame that are showing some resiliency. Received by Velez in the middle. Attack by Cordes, gonna get down.
Cordes, yep. Cordes is one where Georgia Tech has done a nice job blocking her, containing her.
Difference today.
Yeah, sure enough, Craig Dyer came with her in her 4th season as well with Coach Rockwell as Notre Dame's Gardy will serve. Suarez in the middle and Donfia Pierce. And the finding out, can't save it, point to the Jackets. That's a huge point for Georgia Tech.
Love they got the first contact, solid pass. Pierce is up, ready to go, one-on-one in the middle.
Pierce now with 4 kills. Abby Lee, secret weapon number 1 for Georgia Tech on the service line. Attack blockers for the Jackets are there, and they're going to point Georgia Tech on the double contact.
Cordes is really going to have to find some shots, high hands, really find some tip areas. When you're in that situation where it's a double block, and she's found the middle of that block. Let's see her try to work the edges.
Jackets lead 14-13. Lee with a serve. Cordes. Feodorovich is going to go long.
I like seeing that back row attack.
Yeah.
We haven't seen too many today. And so really adding that in the offense, especially in the two-hitter rotations, is big. So I like that decision by Suarez.
Langer will be back to serve. 14 all here in set 3. What a beauty. Langer drops it in.
Wow, such a great serve right in front of Mambu and changing that serve. Feodorovich stepping in now. Let's see where they go with this serve.
15-14. Drops it in again, tough. Mambu, boy.
Big swing.
Yeah, she loaded up and didn't miss.
Yes, big swing. She knew she wasn't getting that pass, stepped out. Suarez, what a tempo dish, and wow, great 4-4 swing.
Bileski will go back to serve for the Jackets, knotted at 15. Pass, Cordes. Pelez. Now the Spagna just pushes it over. Back set, Trump. And you mentioned Lucy Trump. We're going to see her a little bit more here in the third set. You're exactly right.
She has great numbers. This was such a great setup with the middle taking that first ball and then freezing the middle for Pierce from Georgia Tech. That was such a good swing. Good choice from the setting standpoint.
Oh boy, what a beautiful set by Suarez. And DeAndrea Pierce has a laser beam of a kill.
Suarez with her tips early on, taking that ball over, the block has to be on her. And so the block stayed with her, and Pierce with an open net swing. And that's something Suarez created by what she's done in the past sets.
Misplayed by Notre Dame. They'll go over to Georgia Tech. Feodorovich, I tell you what, that blocking team of Naji and Bjork is something else.
I just love that from Naji. Dropping that outside handover, she just grabbed that ball and brought it back into the court. Such power, upper arm strength, that's huge.
Naji from Dallas, Texas, just a freshman, 7-time U.S. Volleyball National Development Program attendee. That was going to get dunked down by Garibaldi. She shows up. Point Jackets.
Finding the middle of the net. Double block on her. She finds that small opening for a power tip. And, just throws that down. I mean, wow, right in between Naji and just finds that sliver of light.
Suarez serves for the Jackets. Gardy. Now Feodorovich. And kind of looking for the touch. Point to Notre Dame. Not going to get a touch on that one.
Feodorovich is going after it. She was trying for high hands there. And again, such a big block. You've got to continue to work those edges, and that's what she's working on.
That's 7 kills in set 2. None here in set 3 for Feodorovich. Suarez crossed to Despagna, and that's going to go high.
So the blocking stats don't always tell you the whole story here. We had 2 missed attacks by Georgia Tech because of the block. And it's just the size of the block. So it does become daunting.
19 serving 17. Middle. Garibaldi finds a way to spin it off. An Irish.
Garibaldi, once again, she's so fast that sometimes you can't get your hands pressed over. And so she gets you on the way up and is able to tool you.
Feodorovich will serve. Fenton. Gardy with the attack. Now Mambu. For Georgia Tech, Dockery can't get there.
That's the go-to shot against both of these teams, is that deep corner. She just elevates so high. What a nice high swing. Gets the high touch and the kill in the corner.
Yodorovic. And misplayed by Gardy, and point Jacket. The vice is tightening on Notre Dame.
It is, and this is where great timeout by Coach Rockwell here, just reassessing serve receive. And
Notre Dame in this match against for Georgia Tech against Notre Dame. Serve by the Jackets, Dockery. And gonna get down, point Notre Dame.
that was such a big swing because you're out of system. That set was coming 30 feet to you, back over your shoulder. Way to use the block and find that kill.
Tied at 20. Here is Baker. Suarez, Mambu. That's her spot.
Mambu really becoming a go-to player in this set. Just big swing. She's not afraid to go after it. Finding those seams.
Garibaldi will serve 21-20 for the Jackets. Rolls that one over, saved by Dockery. Trump pushes it. Despagna gets the kill.
Looking for a high swing, reverse ball to her, high off the hands. You know, this is where she was so great against Louisville. Big blocks, she can chisel and find ways to score.
Garibaldi 22-20. Baker. Trump on that far side once again. Suarez. Mambu, she's done it again.
That go-to player, just finding ways. That was more of a harder angle. She's been going deep corner. She's really playing chess back there with the defense of Notre Dame. And so fun to see her making those adjustments in real time.
Timeout on the floor by Notre Dame. 23-20. Here's the upcoming schedule for the Fighting Irish. Travel to Blacksburg, Virginia, and Castle Coliseum at Virginia Tech, and then Wake Forest. But this Notre Dame team sitting at 10-15, 7-10. Coach Rockwell, if you talk to anybody, how well she's respected in the game of volleyball, the player, a coach, a broadcaster as well. She's just doing things the right way at Notre Dame. I think she's earning a lot of respect, and it may take a little time, baby steps to start, but this is going to be a good Fighting Irish volleyball team. Absolutely.
You look at last year and all the injuries they've had. They had personnel in different positions.
Yeah.
It was all over. And now you're looking at a sophomore-laden team. They're young. Naji being a freshman, Gardy a sophomore, the middle sophomores. You know, this is a team that's up and coming. They're learning how to get over that hill. And it's that 20 to 25 that they have to execute it, and they're going to get there.
All right, out of the timeout. Mambu now with 10 kills, by the way. Garibaldi leading the way for the Jackets with 12. 18 kills for Gardy. Here's Garibaldi's serve. Back to Gardy. And it's in back corner. Coach Collier kind of kicked rocks there. She saw that one. It was a beauty.
You can't get closer to the sideline than that. And so that deep corner has been the key to both teams.
Gardy will serve. Suarez jousts at the net and going to be point to Notre Dame.
That's that 50-50 ball. If Suarez can get up there and stop it before it gets to that plane of the net, then she can save it. But as soon as it creeps in there, Notre Dame is on it. They are touching that ball.
And a timeout used. Timeout by Michelle Collier. Let's go ahead down to Sophie Davis behind the Notre Dame bench.
Yeah, guys, I was listening into the Notre Dame timeout from the last time, and Coach Rockwell was saying, looking at her setter, hey, just set it to Morgan. That's all we need to worry about. Just set it to Morgan. And you can see in those last 2 points, that's exactly what they did to get those points.
Yeah, I think you can make a T-shirt. Just set it to Morgan, right? She has been unbelievable. Mentioned 33 kills against Clemson. That was one off her career high on the road, and now here with 19 kills for Gardy. She's got it from the service line, on the court. She's everywhere. The players around her trust her so much.
And she's okay having that weight on her shoulders. She is playing with such confidence, that jump top spin, just ripping it. She's going after it. And she's playing with such high IQ also. And it was fun to watch her in practice last night, taking serve receive reps. Come on, bring it, bring it. She is ready, and she knows that she's a target from the service line from opponents. And so what a phenomenal player is just a sophomore.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, by the way, we talked about resiliency, and Coach Collier in the intermission said it was a resilient set there in set number 2. It's another resilient set here. They're leading 23-20 coming out of the timeout.
And looking at Georgia Tech, the balance of their offense today has been very strong. You're looking at 30, 20, 28 attempts by their key players.
All right, so here we go. Gardy will serve. And it's an ace to tie the set. Whoa.
Coming out of a timeout, that's exactly what you want in your leader, your go-to player. Coming out of a timeout and just ripping it.
23-20. Another ace by Gardy. Set point for Notre Dame.
This is the point runs we were talking about. You can swiftly make them from this aces, and that ace to error ratio, it is worth it to go after it.
5 aces for Gardy. None bigger than the 2 she's just had to give Notre Dame a set point. Velez. Mambu. Jackets need to stay alive. They will. Mambu with the kill.
She took a little bit off that swing and dropped it in front of the defense, and that's a nice shot right there, especially when you have been aced twice in a row. You just want to make sure that ball's in, and she touches that perfectly.
Second match in a row, we get extra points, and Abby Lee is back to serve for the Jackets. Lee serve. Cordes.
Big swing from Cordes. Wow, with the pressure on, high hand. She got her feet to the ball great right there. That was a big time swing for a player that's been challenged by Georgia Tech's block.
Here's Langer. Another set point for Notre Dame, 25-24. Mambu. Nice receive by Evans, the freshman. Mambu. And it's down. Notre Dame takes set 3.
This is what we've seen from both sides.
All right, so set 4. Notre Dame starts it off. Cordes on the serve. The attack by Garibaldi in the middle is down for the Jackets. They lead 1-0.
That was an easy decision for Suarez, with Garibaldi hitting 786.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 kills.
Garibaldi will serve. And that's going to be a point to Notre Dame.
For Naji, it's good to see her swinging, getting that first new set 0-0, taking a big rip at it, getting back in the positive.
Chichi Naji is a freshman, but the experience she's had this season, you can already consider her experienced. She is very, very good. A laser beam there by Fedorovic.
That back row attack, that is such a key. It's a kind of an X factor. It's adding the offensive of another person as an offensive weapon. Blocks are fronting, and then it leaves a path for that back row attack.
Here's Abby Lee to serve for the Jackets. Another good one. Dockery with the pass. Gardy. Suarez to Mambu. Goes, oh, they're going to get a touch. Yes, they will.
Mambu unleashing on this ball. I love how she goes up with just a full swing every time. Doesn't matter if she's close to the net, 8 feet off the net. She's got the arm, gets that high touch.
3-1. Joust at the net, and that's going to get down. They're going to say violation by Notre Dame. Coach Rockwell is speaking with down official, but as it stands, point.
Setter touched the ball. Georgia Tech's block was up in that 50-50 plane. If it touches it, that means it's a back row attack by that setter.
There it is again. Yeah, no doubt. 4-1, Jackets. Lee serves. Najee, strong attack off with a tool.
And watching her growth, that setter was behind the 10-foot line, reversing that ball. Your hitting window's getting bigger. She's grown so much. And you talked about her experience earlier. Out of system, it comes at different heights, you have different block vision.
Right.
So another great swing by her.
Here's Baker. Oh, another tough at the net. Suarez just pushes it over. Gardy. Boy, give her space to work. She finds the back corner.
And Suarez, even that tip right there is challenging. You had 4 hands on you to try to find an open space to push that over was good. She's a high IQ player.
Gardy continues to be impressive with 19 kills. Make it 20 with that last one.
20 kills, hitting .444.
Unreal. Baker. Service error. Service error number 8 for Notre Dame. Gillespie will serve for the Jackets. And then Trump tries to get through. Pierce with the block.
Trump going in there hard to swing cross court, and Pierce did such a good job closing and finishing that block.
6-3 Jackets. Doesn't seem like much, but a 3-point lead has been pretty significant. And this match, that's a tough shot, Gardy.
You could just hear the power off of her hand when she hit that ball. So tough to try to control that. Despena was in the right position. It was just coming flat and hard at her.
During pregame when we were in here with nobody else and Gardy hit, you said, did you hear that boom off Gardy's attack? Yeah. 4-6. Suarez to Pierce. Yeah, the senior was once again.
Wow, she is up fast, high elbow. She swings fast. That's hard to defend from a block situation. The block was inside on her, and she still found a way to get it through.
Senior out of Austin, Texas, has Belez with a service error.
She's so fast. She can show that she's going to a slide all the way out to the pin or a slide right behind the setter. And that's what's challenging for a block because it's hard to keep up with her speed.
Grace Langer will serve for Notre Dame. 5 serving 7. And that's a service error. Number 9.
Notre Dame has to get into a rhythm from the service line. They're getting some good side outs and now just finding their rhythm.
Aloisi Suarez will serve. Out of Brazil, the junior. The attack just pushed over. Now Trump Little collision by Georgia Tech. Everyone looks all right. Fedorovic with the kill.
Fedorovic on the right side. She's actually done a really nice job when she's been over here on the right side finding kills, how their rotations line up when she swings over here. And so, like seeing her over here.
Suarez will serve once again. That one's long. How much is fatigue a contributor to service errors at this point in the game? You've been going so long.
You know, it's really what your focus is on target-wise and going after it. We're seeing a good serve that floats.
Okay.
Sometimes it might just float just out of bounds. And you saw how much movement that last serve had.
Yeah.
Just floated to the outside line. So a good serve, even if it's a couple inches out, that's still a good serve because it might float slightly different the next time.
Fedorovic serves for the Jackets. Nagy. Now the pass, Mambu. Looking for the touch, not going to get the call for the Jackets. Point Notre Dame.
Really going that cross-body swing line, had a lot of spin on it. She just missed it, but going after that sideline, because we've seen her go cross-court so much also.
May Cordes, the freshman from Carlsbad, California, serves. Gatorade Player of the Year in high school. Serves that long.
This is where Notre Dame has to do a good job of not letting an error beat them twice. Get rid of the missed serves, focus on a good first contact pass here, get a side out, get back into your serving rhythm.
Get her Baldy. Nagy. That's going to go long.
Unforced errors, we always talk about keeping unforced errors under 6. And if we can do that, you're going to have a clean game. Here, we have a lot of unforced errors, so we have to keep up our kills.
Yep. 12-7 Jackets here in set 4.
For adults with type 2 diabetes, do you know about Mounjaro? With Mounjaro, 3 out of 4 people reached an A1C of less than 7%. Plus, people lost up to 25 pounds. Don't take Mounjaro if you're allergic to it, or if you or someone in your family had medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or vision changes. Serious side effects may include inflamed pancreas and gallbladder problems. Taking Mounjaro with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Tell your doctor if you're nursing, pregnant, plan to be, or taking birth control pills, and before scheduled procedures with anesthesia. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can cause dehydration and may cause kidney problems. Get to know Mounjaro at Mounjaro.com. Pay as little as $25 for up to 3 months. Governmental beneficiaries excluded. Terms and conditions apply. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Mounjaro.
The Jackets lead, and boy, they've needed to have freshmen step up with their injuries. And Fedorovic, Mambu, and Despagna, all freshmen, all getting great playing time and contributing.
The best part about Georgia Tech is the depth of these 3 players. One will step up, the other 2 will maintain. And then at key points, we saw it in the last 2 sets. Fedorovic, who hasn't had her best night, came up with some big swings at crucial times. And so all of them are playing a great role right now.
7 kills in set 2 for Fedorovic. But Gardy has been the go-to for Notre Dame. 22 kills on the evening.
That was an easy one to know who that ball was going to out of the timeout.
No doubt. Goes around the blockers and sends Bjork back to serve. 8 serving 12. Suarez, DeAndre Pierce. Gonna go wide, and then looking for a touch. Coach Collier says she will challenge here.
And that was another one Georgia Tech right away knew, hey, off the block, Pierce does a nice job just getting up, finding those fingertips.
I assume as a coach, you really do watch the body language of your
Georgia
players.
Tech is challenging
and
here
you
with a
can
block
tell
touch on the play.
when they're just wanting a touch or when they go, no, that's legit.
Yes, it's hard on the sideline to get great angles of what's happening. And so you do rely quite a bit on your players.
Yeah. Take a look at the replay here as a challenge has been made by Michelle Collier. As the Jackets lead 12-9 as it stands, as the point was given to the Fighting Irish. So looking for any kind of touch. And I think the fans like what they see on the big board.
You look at the ball spin, you look at the finger movement. I still think that these officials have a challenging job doing these replays with not a true net cam.
Yeah, Lily Fenton, they're closing in on the block. Looks like, oh no, I'm sorry, that's Gardy.
Do you see a little bit of pinky movement on Gardy?
Something there.
Yep.
There's something there. See how the official sees it. As Michelle Collier's 0 for 1 today in challenges.
Both sides, if this goes 5, will get another challenge.
But it's a big point. To anything taken away from Notre Dame right now, you're trailing 2-1. Those are big points. And the Jackets could have a 5-point lead here in set number 4.
After review, the call is reversed. Points awarded to Georgia Tech. They retain their challenge.
You saw it.
Great job by the players reacting to where Michelle Collier hesitated not 1 second to make the challenge. It goes Georgia Tech's way. 13-8 is now our score.
Every point counts. We look at the 28-26, just we're right there, 26-24.
And still, the service errors have been brutal. And that's an ace for Abby Lee.
So we'll look to see what Notre Dame does here in the serve-receive pattern to make any adjustments. We know who the target is. They're pinched to the sideline.
Lee serves. And a big attack. Wow.
Off blocker D, you're coming off the net to that 10-foot line, and that is coming with such power at you.
Maya Baker will go back to serve. Huge point there for Notre Dame to break the run. Velez and Mambu, and it goes off Dockery. 1 second.
Talk about high over the block into the deep corner.
Mambu checks out as Bielewski will check in to serve. (15-9). Gardy. Pierce is there. Attack by Trump. And Gardy into the net.
Georgia Tech resilient on their block right there, closing to all players, keeping it on Notre Dame's side and making them find transition kills.
16 serving 9. Trump, Despagna with the dig, and going to be wide, point to Notre Dame.
Fyodorovich is really trying that. It was a little bit of a low set. She tried to get her arm on top, just drove it a little too far out of bounds. But I really like, she's been trying to find the edges of the block all night.
Here's Gardy. Suarez crossed to Fyodorovich, and they go at Gardy, and it can't be saved. Point Tech.
So changing up shots there, finding a rhythm, that's what it's about.
Georgia Tech really came out strong and hasn't let up, hitting 600 here in set 4. Out of bounds. Help with service aces as well, but this is a team for Georgia Tech that's rolling in a timeout for Notre Dame.
Yes, and you're looking at Ford is taking a big swing right there. You're looking at Georgia Tech, how they got this lead, and it's a little bit more of unforced errors in that transition ball, finding the bottom of the net. Georgia Tech working hard on the little things, and so it's closing that block every time. It's finishing the pass on the serve. You know, it's going after, pinpointing your serves with accuracy at your serving targets. These are all things Georgia Tech has really turned up in this 4th set.
18-10 here in set number 4. Georgia Tech appears to be in control, but they can't let Notre Dame hang around. As this game continues to be big as Georgia Tech sits on the bubble. Take a look at their postseason resume. We'll get to it as Coach Collier talking to her players. Here it is.
So she's going to be talking about finding your rhythm in the offense, making sure that you're transitioning hard. They're doing a good job of covering, knowing Notre Dame's going to have a block up there. How do we get the ball to the middle of the court? Getting Despania back into the game, getting her some attempts here.
If you look at that resume, key wins against Purdue. That was on the road. Florida State, 2 top 7 RPI opponents left in that Stanford and Pitt matchup for Georgia Tech. Velez will serve. 18, serving 10. Out of the timeout. Dunked over Garibaldi.
Notre Dame passing 2 in their serve-receive rotation here. Cordes has moved up, and so now they're splitting the court. There's a lot of area to cover for 2 players. Let's see if they can keep that ball. Let's put it to the 10-foot line to run an offense.
19 serving 10. That's going to be inbounds. It drops.
The dig kill here.
Notre Dame just had to watch it, expecting it to go out of bounds, and it drops in. Velez serves 20-10. Evens on the receive. And then the blockers, Garibaldi and Suarez.
The block was able to release out to that go and get a nice solid. Garibaldi once again finishes that block. Suarez sets up. You know, the lineup for the right side is so huge.
Velez serves once again. Oh, nice tap back and kill by Notre Dame.
Langer, it's good to get Langer back in the offense here with that pass, feeding her that ball.
Langer serves. Suarez. And a nice kill by Feodorovich, her 11th kill of the match.
That starts with a really solid pass by Despania, and then great set by Suarez out to Feodorovich. And, you know, the block for Notre Dame, they had all hitters that were options. Yeah. And so you create seams when you have good passing.
Suarez serves. It's an ace.
Such a great drop serve right there. Passing, it's so hard to see that ball coming at you and the bottom drops out of it. Being able to attack this, the Notre Dame has to attack this serve receive ball.
Second ace for Suarez. And there's the attack pulled off of Despania.
Nice swing by Lucy Trump. We've seen her go off that block, deep cross court. She's using her toolbox.
She'll go back to serve. Spanya. Fedorovich evens with the bump pass and gets a kill by Cordes.
Cordes, I love how she is still going after this ball. She had a short approach there, but swings high and aggressive.
And that's long. Set match point coming for the Jackets. Fedorovich will be back to serve. Freshman from Poland. Match point for the Jackets. And there it is. The block gets it done. The Jackets take the match.
It's so great to see Mom